From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE as a lot is happening for your fourth stimulus check. This is the monthly stimulus check that will start paying you in the month of July if those Senate Democrats and House Democrats have their way. Reconciliation, away we go. In this recording, I'll go over how much, how often, and how soon you would get these big stimulus checks, $8,000 to $12,000, between July and December could be yours. This is this monthly fourth stimulus check of the fourth stimulus package. Big updates also about third stimulus check happening today, and more rounds of direct deposits happening this weekend. And then away we go to SSI and SSI reform happening this fall. I'll be going over what is this SSI reform, how much money will you see, and how this will be lifetime benefits. Then the breaking developing news that happened today in the last few hours of what's happening this coming Wednesday. We now see that the president's about to make a major announcement about the fifth stimulus package for September and make that announcement on Wednesday. Of updates about the student loan debt forgiveness, the mortgage forbearance, the business grant, and that one that was supposed to go live today and didn't. And then I'll cut back to what's going on with Ron Wyden and Bernie Sanders. It's a big afternoon's recording. I'm so excited you're here. Let's get to the details. This is Afternoons LALATE. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon, and boy, away we go. In this update, you're going to see the least about your monthly fourth stimulus check, that third stimulus check, the other items of third stimulus about to hit, and then what's going on with that SSI reform, the biggest, greatest news you've seen in a long time, many months in this recording. And then the shocker that's coming this Wednesday that's going to leave you speechless. I have that coming up late in this recording, so stay to the very end. Meantime, if you've not subscribed, please do. We're approaching our one-year anniversary tomorrow. April 25th, this channel turns 1 year old. So help us continue to grow. It's been a great first year, and let's get it on the second year. Make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. In the video before this, I lost audio, and the video this morning, I lost connectivity. And for some reason, when you lose audio on the video before this, some people thought that was a reason to give a thumbs down. Shame on you. Shame on you for giving a thumbs down because I lost audio on the video before that. Ultimately, on the video before this is a noontime show. You can jump to the 15-minute mark, and we had a laugh a minute for the second 15. So give an extra thumbs up on this video to offset the people who thought it was cute to give a thumbs down on the last video. Lord. Meantime, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Let's get to the breaking details. Fourth stimulus got incredible push this week and continues to get the push this weekend because of a series of not one, not two, but really 4 items at play. Those items I'm going to go over shortly later in this recording. They are the economic data that came in this week, the push from the Federal Reserve, the lack of bipartisan support, and the big data coming next week from economic reports, namely the new corporate earnings reports coming in next week. But first, let's go over the big money at issue. How much, when, how do we get this? Who pays us, and how do we get the money, and when will we get the money? Here we go. 4 stimulus checks. There is a monthly stimulus check at play. The House members want to give you a monthly stimulus check starting in the month of July and continuing thereafter. But they want to do it for the rest of the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators want to do a stimulus check from July to December. And then you have the players at issue. The House members are progressives, but the senators, they have a lot of standalone bills, which they may likely slide into the fourth stimulus package in addition. The House members are looking for $1,000 a month for a stimulus check after the first month. And then the senators, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is this is the amount of money. July to December, a monthly stimulus check, $2,000 a month for 6 months, $12,000. or $1,400 a month for 6 months, $8,400. The single biggest payout you've seen for a single individual of this channel, and it's for you. If you're on SSI or SSDI, this is you. Who gets it? Anyone who got the third stimulus check gets this one. This is for people who make less than $75,000, household 4 or less. So if there's 4 people in the household, you would take that graphic from before this, times it by 4. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, this is you. To which the questions come in usually: when, how, and how often. Let me go over those details. First, when? July. The vote would be July 4th, says Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer. When would the first check go out? July. For what month? July. What would be the next month? August, because August is after July. That's how it would work every month. How would we literally receive it? You would likely receive it on a debit card that would be refunded every month, is my guess, although they've not said the mode of delivery. That is what Sanders and Harris proposed in 2020, and it's the cheapest, easiest way to get it out the door. Incredible, great news. Now, this week you had not one, but 4 things that were at play that are getting these stimulus checks to the door. What are they? First, economic data. Second, corporate earnings. Third, the lack of bipartisan support. And finally, the Federal Reserve. Let's start with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, in advance of next week's meeting, insiders say, have determined that they're not going to pull back on providing stimulus. They determined the economy is not fully rebounded. This is great news. This is signaling why stimulus will go out the door in a forced stimulus in July. Number 2, lack of bipartisan support. The president did not get bipartisan support. In fact, got less support than he may have had even 3 weeks earlier. At the start of this whole process for the forced stimulus, the Republicans said no climate, no $2 trillion price tag, $600 to $800 billion for the infrastructure. President said no. So what did they come back with this week? Less. No $2 trillion, no climate, and $500 billion, to which there's no bipartisan support. Away we go. And finally, the economic data that came in this week all signaled great news that we're getting for stimulus. Why? Because we were worried that the economy would fully rebound by the month of July, and that if it would rebound that soon, that perhaps people may not give you stimulus checks by then. Not the case, because now we see the recovery is not by December. Here's what's at play. 2 weeks ago, we saw the unemployment claims drop 250,000 in 1 week. Very scary about the enormous growth, exponential growth of the recovery. So did we drop another 250,000 this week? Nope. We stayed relatively calm, meaning that the economic recovery is not accelerating from day to day. It's not accelerating in the month of April compared to March, that we're relatively flat, meaning that 4 stimulus checks are going out the door. Great news across the board. They're happening, and away we go. It's a reconciliation process that takes 2 months, and they need to start in the next few days or weeks, and then away we go to July. So what else made big news this week? Well, it was that SSI reform. The biggest reform of the Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits system since the 1960s. And here you go. It's happening in the next stimulus package, the 5th stimulus package, which will be this fall. Not from the president, but from the Democrats. What happened? This week, a series of Democrats, House and Senate members, wrote a massive cavernous letter, page after page after page, to the president, the vice president, saying, either you put SSI reform in the 5th stimulus package, or we're putting it in there. Wow. And they even went as deep as to quote the line and page of every promise from this president during his run for presidency and his transition papers to say, we're holding your economy accountable and we're putting them in there ourselves. Let me go over the incredible great details. I'm very excited for you. This is the first reform of the system in nearly 70 years. Let's get to the details. First, I'll go broadly over them, and then I'm going to go over the details so you understand all the provisions. First, what it will have is the increase of your benefits, then an increase the asset limit, then an inflationary benchmark, finally removing the income exclusion, finally removing the marriage penalty. All right, let me go over the details one at a time. Very easy to follow. First, they're going to take all your benefits and raise you up to a new, wonderful, big number. That would be your new number moving forward. Your new number moving forward. You would no longer see the old number. Number two, they would attach a new benchmark. The new benchmark would not be COLA, C-O-L-A. COLA doesn't move. Every December, they look at your benefits and say, we're going to increase your benefits 2 cents because of COLA. That's not going to happen anymore. Why? They're going to tie it to inflation. Yes, inflation is 1 to 4% per year, and the Federal Reserve and myself are anticipating it's 2 to 3% inflation for about the next 2 years. So that means you're going to always see benefits increase about 2 to 3% over the next couple of years. Great news across the board. Third, they're going to get rid of a 1984 law that you cannot keep more than $3,000 on hand for some of you. That's called the asset cap. They're going to throw it out. Fourth, they're going to do an incredible provision, which is remove the income cap. Dates back to 1962 or 67. That income cap said you can't make more than a certain amount of money working if you want to work. So if you do want to work, you don't have to, but if you do want to work, they'll allow you to work and make up to $1,000 or $2,000 a month, and you can still stay on benefits. Wow. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. In one of the videos earlier today, people asked me, what's the marriage penalty? If you don't have it, you don't have to worry about it. If you do have it, you know exactly what it is. They're going to get rid of it. So incredible, great news. To which you're going to ask me when, where, and how. This would come under the fifth stimulus package. The fifth stimulus package starts in September. It takes 2 months. It's a reconciliation process again. It's going to be called the American Family Plan. So you would not see this become law, and you would not see the money physically hit your hands until maybe like the last 2 months of this year. And away we go. I have more about that fifth stimulus plan coming up later in this recording. It is one of the most shocking, jaw-dropping, and makes me want to go on a tirade narrative later in this recording. I'm really shocked, and it's all coming up this coming Wednesday. The announcement came 2 hours ago, and I'm still dumbfounded by it. It's coming up later in this recording. You're going to be shocked. You may be horrified, and you're going to be confused about it as well. I'll be touching on that shocking detail coming up later in this recording. But first, wealth tax. What's happening with the wealth tax? Now, the wealth tax, let me define what it is. It's a tax on people who make billions a year or trillions, not millions. It's for billions or trillions. And Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax is what she debuted when she was running for president to pay for SSI and SSDI $200 a month. Well, guess what? Her wealth tax will be front and center next week. Where is she? There she is. It will be front and center next week because she's going to have a congressional hearing next week about the wealth tax. So get ready for that exciting details next week. Could SS 200 slide into forced stimulus? It could. Could wealth tax slide into as a forced stimulus? I don't know. That's a little bit more polarizing, but more about that in a second. Also, big news is that Ron Wyden provision. Could that slide into forced stimulus? I think it has to. Here's what you need to know, and something I've not touched on ever on this channel until today. Congress goes on recess in July and doesn't come back to September. There's an issue at that. The issue is currently FPUC, PUA, PEUC, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, all expire in September. So they're going to expire while they're on vacation. Now, at the moment, we're anticipating we don't need them after September because the economy is going to be fully rebounded by then. But what if we're not? What if we're not? What if we start to flatten out our recovery? What if we retract? What if we pull back? Well, the concern is that they need to fix things, and they may need to fix them in the forced stimulus. So they can. They can. Rod Wyden's thinking out of the box and thinking ahead of time. So he wants to fix PUA, and he wants to continue with PUA lifetime. The provision that he provides is $250 a week for 6 months that would provide you PUA benefits indefinitely, $6,000 per year. Great, great news. If only everyone else thought out of the box. Meantime, a lot of the items from the third stimulus package have yet to go live, and the president is starting to get a little bit of heat about those items not going live, still in the third stimulus package. What are they? Mortgage, rent, utilities, and homeowners assistance is not coming until May. Why? The $5,000 EIDL grant, not going live yet. In fact, no update from SBA. Why? Don't know. The shuttered venue grant, which was supposed to go live on SBA today, Did not. Why? Computer failure. The restaurant grant has yet to go live. Why? Not particularly clear. This is going to be a big issue later in this recording. Later in this recording, you're going to see what the president's doing on Wednesday, and you're going to be wondering, but wait a second, a lot of things from third stimulus have still not gone out. This is April. You came in January. You haven't gotten the rent, the utilities, the restaurant, the business items. None of these monies have gone out, and we're going into May, and we're told it's coming in May, but we haven't seen them. So what's going on? I don't know. Meantime, also really now becoming front page news is my coverage of the student loan debt forgiveness. You have seen me absolutely hit this story very hard every single day. The student loan debt forgiveness, Miguel Cardona, the education secretary, and again, it's education, teachers, homework, assignments, due dates, doing things on time. What is he doing? Not following his timelines. He was given an order by the President of the United States to prepare an executive order memo detailing if the President can forgive student loan debt forgiveness within 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks was up 2 weeks ago, not yesterday. Well, let me see if my math is right. Let me cut a little calculator. He's now, I think he's a week late or 2 weeks. I can't remember. He's either a week late or 2 weeks late now on producing that memo. And now broadcast news is picking up on this, saying, wait a second, what's going on here? You told your education secretary to prepare a memo whether a president can forgive student loan debt forgiveness. It's not particularly a difficult task to prepare the memo because Obama did and Trump did, says Elizabeth Warren. So why are we waiting so long to get the memo? And why is the memo not being produced on time? People are starting to wonder what's going on here. And now it's becoming a broadcast front page news story. Added to the good support for this was a new report in which they pooled congressional leaders. And when those congressional leaders were asked whether they would support $50,000 of student loan debt being forgiven by executive order, more than half said yes. And the ones that did not say yes said they would support another number, just not exactly 50,000. So great news across the board. I'll have big news coming up later in this recording about what the president is doing on Wednesday. And boy, I am shocked. I am preparing you financially for the impact of what's going to happen on Wednesday. The news announcement of it came today. And of course, Wall Street is closed today. Bitcoin and crypto is not closed because it's open 24/7. So the impact of it on crypto is already hitting. It's a shocker. It's a shocker. Meantime, also coming up later in this recording is more about your fourth stimulus. Stay with me, and I'll jump in the live chat to see you and interact with you about that as well. Here's a little bit about the community page. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE, your first of 2 afternoon show. The big one is coming up in 2 hours from now. You're going to really love that show tonight. And then we go into Evenings LALATE tonight at 8 p.m. But then the heat, it heats up as Sirloin and Javita Late join us for LA Late Night, our irreverent humor-only broadcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're just joining me, what a big day it is. 4 stimulus checks are going out in July if everything goes as planned. Fifth stimulus in the September will involve an SSI and SSDI reform. Student loan debt forgiveness remains up in the air as the president has yet to deliver that deal memo. And a lot of the business grants, a third stimulus, the money for third stimulus like mortgage and rent has yet to land and is supposed to come in May. So what is the shocking development that's happening today that's going to leave you speechless? It left me speechless. I'll be delivering that in 1 second. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's our 1-year anniversary tomorrow. I want you to be part of this family. Also, like this video. Let's try to do 3,000 likes. It'll help offset the video before where people, unfortunately, I lost audio for the first 15 minutes of that video, and people thought it was an opportunity to give it down. Oh, Lord, come on now. So give a like on this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Okay, you ready for the shocking developing news? The shocking developing news takes several forms, and it's all happening on Wednesday. It's all coming from the President of the United States. The first shocker is that on Wednesday, he's going to announce the fifth stimulus package. Now, unto that, it's a shocker. Why? Because we haven't even written the fourth stimulus package. The fourth stimulus package doesn't even have a bill. It hasn't even been introduced to Congress. It hasn't even been written as a memo. All it is has been press conferences and publicity videos. No joke. I'm not exaggerating. That's all it has been. It has been congressional leaders saying, do this, do that, do this. And so we're waiting for it to be handed to Nancy Pelosi and start reconciliation and start the process. It hasn't even started that. It's been a lot of dog and pony show with beautiful backdrops and customized logos. It's time to start legislating and start the fourth stimulus package, get it going. Why am I adamant about this? Because July's a vacation. They go away. They're gone to September. And you were treated poorly by congressional leaders last July when they left you hanging and didn't take care of you, and then didn't take care of you until December. So they need to start fourth stimulus. Why are we talking about fifth stimulus in any substantive form now? And why is it getting a press conference? Well, it's actually worse. It's going to be debuted to both houses of Congress on Wednesday. Okay, not particularly good idea, in my opinion. The second part of that I don't particularly like is that third stimulus has yet to land. So why are we talking about fifth stimulus if from third stimulus, the rent has not gone out from the federal government to the states, the mortgages, the homeowners assistance for utilities, the $5,000 EIDL grant, the shuttered venue grant, the restaurant grant. I mean, I can't keep a list. What has actually gone live on the third stimulus? The checks, and that's about it. Nothing else in the third stimulus package from January has literally gone out from the federal government. So why are we talking about something from October when you haven't sent out the money from January? Okay. So if we were up to there, I think we could, just sort of shake our head, go have a cup of coffee, relax. But it's actually getting worse. So here is the part that's going to leave you wanting to breathe the climate. On Wednesday, the president will announce that this September, in the fifth stimulus, he's going to raise your capital gains taxes. This September? He was supposed to raise it next year. No, he's not going to raise it next year for next year's sixth stimulus package in January of 2022. He's going to announce this Wednesday he's raising your capital gains taxes this year in the fifth stimulus package in September, and he's going to announce it this Wednesday. What? Okay, now here is many issues that are troubling about this announcement. The first part is that when we're looking at the fourth stimulus package, not the fifth, but the fourth, the president has never, ever briefed the American people which taxes he's touching. His press secretary has been evasive over and over again, and has, when asked, said he hasn't made a decision when he has made a decision in regards to at least one of them. And then when asked about the other one, says, well, we're still thinking about it. How about you give us an idea of what you are considering? Word from Politico says the president for forced stimulus is thinking of taxing inheritance tax, increasing your inheritance tax, increasing capital gains tax, and increasing personal taxes, but has not decided. The president has said he wants to raise the corporate tax, but no one has a problem with just the corporate tax. The problem erupts for forced stimulus in that everyone understands that corporate tax will not pay enough of forced stimulus, so that the president has to do some other type of tax change. And which one it is, he's not telling us. He's not telling us. Inheritance tax does not sit well with anyone because it hits the middle class. Grandma dies and leaves you her Toyota Corolla. You have to pay inheritance tax on it. Grandpa dies and leaves you his old Superman comic book. You have to pay inheritance tax on it. You have to pay inheritance tax. He wants to tax that in the middle of the pandemic. Why? Why? To fix a bridge? Use the federal government's money to fix the bridge. Why are you taking someone else's inheritance tax in the middle of the pandemic? So that is not clear at the moment. It is not clear if he is treating only corporate America or if he's going after more than corporate America for forced stimulus. But when we look at fifth stimulus, oh boy, here's the problem with fifth stimulus. With fifth stimulus, the announcement on Wednesday will be he will raise the capital gains tax. Now, there's a lot of problems with that statement. Number one, there is lack of clarity coming from the White House over and over again whose capital gains taxes and which capital gains taxes. Let me explain what capital gains taxes is. You go to the swap meet, you see a chair and you resell the chair on eBay. That's capital gains taxes. You buy a car and you resell the car. That's capital gains taxes. You buy some Tesla shares and you resell them. That's capital gains taxes. A lot of people buy and sell stuff. A lot of people buy and sell stuff. Whose capital gains taxes? That's the first issue. The second one is the impact, if it's not even your capital gains taxes, on everything else. Wall Street, Main Street, businesses do engage in buying and selling stuff. They do. And on Thursday, Wall Street crashed on the news. Why? Because the amount of capital gains tax that he was looking to change was not from 20 to 22% or 20 to 23% or 24%, but nearly to 50%. What? In the middle of the pandemic, we're taking capital gains and we're not tweaking it a little bit. We're ballooning it to like third world country percentages. What's going on here? Not particularly clear. Not particularly clear. And even if it's not your tax bracket, it impacts you dramatically because you want economic stability. You want the economy to slowly rebound at a nice rate. And this causes economic instability. And here we see what's happening. Crypto has been crashing nonstop since the announcement because people are fearing the event of the following. If the tax rate is going to be much higher next year, they're going to sell this year so they don't have to pay 3 times the amount of taxes next year on that profit. They'll take their profit now and they won't have to pay as much taxes. And that fear will continue all year long until the president comes out and says, no, this is exactly what I'm doing. Merely just suggesting, being evasive, not being clear, not being answering questions for the press secretary about what the numbers are may cause more disconcern. Because ultimately, Wall Street looks at risk, and if they can't assess the risk because no one's answering the question, then they will sell on the fear of the risk, even if it never happens. Meaning the fear of the event occurring could be worse than the event actually occurring. That's the first situation. The second one is that there is talk that Wednesday's announcement may not be limited only to capital gains tax. That'll also increase the personal tax rate as well. Why? What are we taxing? Why are we changing taxes? What are we changing the taxes for? And what is fifth stimulus? And why does it need more taxes? Fourth stimulus are bridges, railroads, and highways, which the federal government should be able to pay for themselves. But when we're talking about fifth stimulus, what are we doing for fifth stimulus that we have to change all these changes to the tax code in the middle of the pandemic? What are we doing it for? To give $24,000 to 17 to newborn children over the next 5 years. Yes, seriously. The president on Wednesday will announce that the American Family Plan will provide money for children 17 to newborn over 5 years, and will do that by taxing everyone else. This is after those same children are getting $3,600, nearly $4,000 this year. Remember, they're getting $300 a month approximately, starting the month of July for 1 year. That's not enough for this president. He wants to do it 5 more years. And he wants to tax other people to pay for that. And yet, he has yet to ever put in his own writing multiple stimulus checks for you. Your multiple stimulus checks, your SSI reform, your help is coming from Senate Democrats and House Democrats, not coming from the president's own words. It's coming from those House Democrats. So every time you hear me talk about multiple stimulus checks, they're putting it in there because he's not putting it in there. They're putting the SSI reform because he's putting it in there. So with that, let me jump into the live chat and see your reaction so far to this news about what's happened on Wednesday. My shock came when I realized it's this Wednesday and it's for 5th stimulus. We were told on Thursday and Friday it was for 6th stimulus next year, not for this year. And certainly next year is something we can deal with then when we're fully rebounded. But the shock that it's for 5th stimulus in September? Let me jump into the chat and see your reaction to the news right now. I'm furious, says Anne Marie. Raising taxes on us in the pandemic is so unfair, says Shalal. They need to stop their darn political egos, says Mark. Vicky, I haven't received my 3rd stimulus. Let's see some more of the comments. Older folks are madder for sure, says Louis. When are we going to get the next stimulus, says Bernice? July. Increasing taxes sucks for those that haven't saved for our family, says Monica. This is insanity, says Charlotte. If someone receives Social Security and veterans benefits each, can they claim to qualify for benefits at the same time? Yeah, so if you have multiple benefits, all your benefits will be raised under SSI reform. Charlotte, he won't get reelected. This is crazy, says Peachy. I'm furious at that, another person said. That's crazy, says Cheryl. Insane, says Marie. Are we going to get a bonus stimulus check from the IRS? No. Lamont, that plus-up check is for people who didn't get a full $1,400 stimulus check. It's the worst expression. IRS came up with that term plus-up. It's only to bring you up to $1,400 for people who got less than $1,400. Please, Lord, not do this, someone said. Good afternoon, LALATE, says Ethel. Raising taxes and everything else is going to save your magazines because toilet paper is going to go up, says Francine. Oh, Lord. How much for the 4th stimulus? I'll be circling back to that second, Joyce. What happened to the recap? Recap's coming up in just a second. I was going into the live chat and seeing what your reaction was to the news about what's happening from this fall. Biden is a figurehead. He's doing exactly what the powers behind him are telling him to do. He will get reelected. The powers say to be something, says Political Lil. That's a very good comment by Political Lil. Let me jump on camera. Political Lil's comment was basically, Biden is just doing what people are telling him to do in his administration. That's ironically exactly what JP Morgan and another big investment house said on Friday. They said that there is no way in any universe that the president is going to get any of these taxes approved by his own party, and that he may get 1 or 2% improvement higher, but he's not going to get 20% higher or 15% higher. And it doesn't matter if he has a 50-50 Senate at the place, or he can do recon. They said it's never going to happen. Now, ironically, it is possible that is true, but here's my message to you, that report that it's not going to happen did not go viral. Rather, the report of the taxes, the capital gains, absolutely went viral. Everyone that had a crypto position, everyone that had a stock, everyone that has a home, everyone that has a car, anyone that has buys and sell, heard about these capital gains taxes on Thursday and went into shock mode. And that shock mode is not something you need while you're trying to recover from a pandemic. You don't need it. We're not recovered. There's 8 million jobs missing. There's 16 million people unemployed. And we have a lot of the employment systems like PUA, FPUC expiring in September. And suddenly you have this shock wave of news going through the system, and yet it's getting a full press on Wednesday. Let me give you the big recap. Forced stimulus is going to go out. That is the saving grace of all this. But forced stimulus is that monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July that pays every month to the end of the year at least. If you're a senator, if you're a House member, you go more months. Senators want to pay somewhere between $2,000 and $1,400 a month. Student loan debt forgiveness, we're still waiting for that Miguel Cardona letter, has yet to be produced. Some of the business grants are still derailed, like the restaurant grant and the shutter venue grant. The SSI and SSDI reform is absolutely getting incredible great news this week as it's going to be put into the fifth stimulus. But that fifth stimulus is getting a shot that no one expected coming, with news that it's going to include capital gains taxes in the announcement this Wednesday for the fifth stimulus package, which heats up this September. Elsewhere, rent, utilities, mortgage forbearance, and all those other items have yet to go out from the federal government to the states. They say it's coming out in May. Big shocking details across the board. Let me jump one more time back into the live chat and see some of your final comments before we call it. Let's see what about SNAP? SNAP is one of those good things that I'm happy it's in place where it is. So they're never going to get rid of SNAP, and SNAP has that 15% increase until the end of the year for Jazelyn. Anne Marie, I work my butt off. This is not fair for me. I have no children, no breaks, higher taxes, and I'll have to work more to pay my bills. It does not make sense that 17-year-olds and younger have to get $24,000. Judy, makes no sense. It's stupid as does. Hasn't come in Ohio yet, so is Lorraine. Let's push for that. Forced stimulus, says Lynn Glenn. Robert says, good afternoon, everybody. Is more SNAP coming? Gary, you have 15% increase on SNAP to December under 2 executive orders. So whatever you're at now, then yes. $10,200 unemployment coming in May, LA? Yes, automatically. People are hurting. They don't need these taxes raised. We need to make a loud noise, says Carolyn. Absolutely. That's very well said. EBT is extended, I think, to like September, Jazelyn. Social Security boost coming for everyone? Yes, under fifth stimulus. That's the asset allocation, the income increase, the benefit increase, and also the removal of the marriage penalty. That's all coming in the fifth stimulus. But that's coming from the Democratic House and Senate members, not from the president himself, but from them in the fifth stimulus. Great questions across the board. And ultimately, here is my take on the situation. My take on the situation is, if you want to do something, say it and own it and don't hide from it. So if you want to raise a tax, say exactly what it is, who it is, which tax bracket, how much, and say the percentage. I can't stand every time the press secretary says he hasn't made a mind up on it. It's absolutely untrue. It's so disingenuous every time she says he hasn't made up his mind on it. But he has considered numbers, and he actually has a determination. The last 3 times she said that, within 24 hours after that, he made the announcement. So he doesn't know it on Thursday, but he does know it on Friday. I don't like that. If you don't want to answer the question, then say, we have a number we're thinking of, and we're going to make the announcement tomorrow. Say that, but don't say we don't have an idea. You do have an idea, because 24 hours later, you announce the number. That's the first thing I don't like. The second one is, when you do make a determination, like you announce the forced stimulus package, say what it is. We're now a month into forced stimulus package. We don't know firmly which taxes will be changed, which amount, 20 to 22 or 23, and for who. It's making news coverage of it very difficult. This is like 2020 over again. Third, when you're doing these changes to these tax codes, Explain why you need them. Just because you want to do something just because you want to change it doesn't give us indication of how much money it's going to generate. For example, let's say you want to change the tax code from 20 to 22%. Explain how much money that's going to generate. It's going to generate, $2 trillion and it'll offset. They never tell us this. They just don't tell us this. Finally, I'm tired, and I don't know you, but I'm tired of being told of basically dog and pony show type stuff. It's beautiful when we go to the moon, and it's beautiful when we count the daisies, and it's beautiful when I got it. I think it's beautiful when we went to the moon. But tell me the bad stuff also. Tell me if there's taxes going to get changed and what are the taxes. Tell me whether you have support from it from these Democrats or not. Tell me the bad stuff. Some of the publicity videos that are coming out of the White House this week have been so overly sugar-coated that they're almost propaganda-ish. They're so sugar-coated and so lacking information that it's almost like we're supposed to just, kiss back. I'm like, tell me some information. Remember in 2020, one of the big issues I always had with the Temple of Doom was she would not tell us numbers. She would just talk about superlatives, children going hungry, America the beautiful, America God bless. Yeah, but tell me numbers. Tell me some numbers. And I don't need to be told how bridges need fixing and roads need cleaning. I need to know the numbers as well. We're educated, you're educated, we're smart, we understand how things work. We deserve to be told the entire picture from beginning to end. And with that, I hope you join me on Afternoons LA second show, which is coming up in about an hour and a half from now. That second show kicks up our big evening schedule. Afternoons LA is at 6 p.m., followed by Evenings LA. And then we go into LA Late Night. Continue to express your opinion. Share these videos on social media. Hashtag MSC. Hashtag Purple Power. If you don't like something you're hearing, go on social media and tag the elected official, whether it's Miguel Cardona, you haven't seen that executive memo, or something else. Get your voice heard. Push Purple Power. With that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Like this video. Let's try to do 2,000-3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.